everything, guys. You know, all the big drug dealers, everything. That was a part of that was hard. That was Harlem. You know what I
Like,
mean?
so who was out there? Like Guy Fisher.
All of them, Guy Fisher. You know, the Nicky Barnes area. It was era.
That
You know
whole
what I'm
time.
saying? So that whole time.
So you see,
You know what
that.
I'm
So
saying?
when we're looking at Forrest Whitaker and the King of Harlem and all that, the series, what was it like that? Was it like
I
that
mean,
at that time?
I mean, I was young, so I seen all that growing up. You know what I mean? I seen them run the Apollo and all that type of stuff. So I was young and seeing all that type of stuff
So you
growing up.
was
So
watching them own the Apollo and all that.
yeah, I was watching them on the Apollo. I was, you know, in the little clubs in Harlem. I seen them in the clubs in Harlem while I was trying to come up and trying to make it and stuff. You know, so we seen all that. That was
And
that was like
when did you say to
that.
yourself, I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be a singer. I'm gonna be one of the biggest to ever do. Like, when did you say that?
Like that was honestly, that was just a side piece for me. That was just something to do for me in the beginning. It was something like, yo, you know, it was something like, cause I grew up in that Blue Magic. You know, I was a kid looking at the Blue Magic, the stylistic, all that. So
Kid
that was,
Mac.
yeah. So that was just that was just a side thing for me at that point. You know, I really didn't take it serious until, you know, I started seeing the New Edition on TV and all of that, you know what I mean? Or the New Edition and all that. That's when I started to
So
really
when you
study.
saw like Mr. Telephone
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, all
that's when
that.
you
That's when
said,
I
yo,
was
I could do it.
right. That's when I decided I was gonna do it. Or, you know, when I seen Levert, the OJs and those type of people. So that's when I decided that's what I really wanted to do at that point.
You know, my Uncle Dan, he exaggerates a lot. And he tells me he used to work with you in Wall Street. Is this true?
Well, yeah, well, you know, I was on Wall Street. I was used to work with Payne Weber, Prudential Payne Weber, you know, and commodities. So, you know, if he said he was in full world trade with me, he was
Yeah.
definitely in full
That's
world
what he
trade
was
with
at.
me.
He said one day you left and you said, yo, I'm out of here. I'm going to make
Yeah.
it singing. And he said, I don't know if it's true. He said one day you came back in a fly car to Wall Street and you was like, yo, I made it. I don't know. I mean, you know, he'd be exaggerating, Uncle Dan, but I mean,
Now, you
he
know,
always tells me that story.
what happened is, you know, like I was on the floor, you know what I mean? So basically, you know, I saw when I dropped out Warner, right? And once I dropped out Warner, I realized I couldn't work because people were sneaking up there asking me for autographs and everything, you know what I'm saying? So it just got a little hectic. So, you know,
It's
real
like,
talk, my man Mark Siegel from ICM called me. He said, man, you got to go on the road. The record is too big. You just can't, you can't work. You don't need to be going into work every day no more. The record too big. You can't, you know, I said, man, I'm not leaving my job. I'm not leaving my job on Wall Street.
let
So
me
he
tell you
said,
something.
well, so
I
he
was
said,
still,
well,
yeah, yeah.
so he said, well, you know, how much it's going to take for you to leave the job on Wall Street. I said, listen, let me tell you something. You can give me some money. I'll go on the road for a minute. But then, you know what I'm saying, I'll just take a leave of absence. So what I did was take a leave of absence. But I never quit. I took a leave of absence, but I never went back. So the leave of
So
absence
that,
is still there.
you know, and that's the testimony to where you at now, is where your work ethic is crazy. I remember, and I don't want to skip because I want to go back to there, but I remember when I asked you to come perform at my birthday party like 2 years ago, and you was like, Joe, how can I perform? And you gave me your schedule, and you was booked every day. This is a year ago, yo. Keith, you was like, and we moved my whole birthday party around for you because you was only available on a Sunday because you had the whole week booked. I was like, yo, Keith Sweat still getting major paper 2019. Like,
Yeah, I was booked up, and I want to thank you for that because I really wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? It was like really important
I
for
know
me to be at your birthday
you don't know
party.
what you
So
mean to me and what
yeah,
you mean to
so
my people. You
and when you
different.
told me, you was gonna move your birthday party around, you know what I mean? I'm like, hold up, wow, you gonna move your birthday? And they said, man, I gotta have you there. I gotta
Yeah.
have you there, man. I
Shout
gotta
out,
have
shout
you
out
there.
to Natina. She went hard for you. So I
Yeah, yeah.
said, so now you become this major success. I'm still in the street. I'm still in the street hard. And I just got to tell you real quick. I was just talking to Swiss Beats. And so there was this guy, you know, rest in peace, good friend of mine. His name was Howie. Howie was like, he looked like LL Cool J, 7 foot tall. Howie got shot 13 times, 13 times. But he had this 325 convertible piped out, wide body kit sound system. Two of them, a white one and a red one. And the only way we knew that Howie was coming is he be turning that corner and he be, you may be young, but and it's crazy because even though you was making R&B songs, did you realize you was making drug dealer music, like drug dealer anthems?
I mean, I kind of knew because that was the time I grew up in. You know what I mean? I knew like, I knew that the songs I was doing was like, because when me and Ted got together, we put that hard thumping and you know, we put that 808 in the joints. So it was that the music that people wanted to hear because, you know, it made you feel like you had a system in your car, even though you didn't have a system in your car.
Yo, you had
so,
the
you know,
you was probably the first R&B artist with the 808 in
yeah.
the slow R&B, so like that 808.
Yeah, so I have to thank my boy Ted for that, you know what I mean? So, because Ted was doing the hip hop beat, so I was doing the soft and sweet music, so we decided to just put both of them together. Because like Ted said to me, I said, man, Ted said, man, I don't do R&B. I said, man, if we just mix the music with the hip hop beat, yo, we got something special. And we started doing that, and then, you know, we won with it, you know what I'm saying? So
did you watch the Teddy Riley battle with Babyface?
Yeah, I watched it, and I have to give a shout out to Swiss Beats and Timberland, man. They doing it was such an amazing thing for the culture, man. And I definitely got to give them a shout out, man, because that
Verzuz,
was.
So you was going Teddy or you was going Baby? Because I know you know all of them.
You know, I mean, I got love for Ted because, you know what I'm saying, he was throwing that Key Sweat in there too, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, I got, you know, you know, I mean, but you know what I'm saying, you know, I'm friends with both of them. So, you know, I mean, like, for real, like me and Ted, when we first came out with my album, we was mixing the album to one of Babyface's records to make sure the mix. Right, to make sure the mix was right. You know what I'm saying? So
what mix was that?
That was like when he when I forget the album, but I think it was the one where, you know, I cook your dinner, you know, when I get home from work, you know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever album that was, right. Whatever album that was, we was mixing my joint to that album. Right, to make sure it was sonically right, yeah.
So now, yo, Keith, let's take you straight to the wedding in New Jack City.
Come on, man. Come on.
What was that like? You know, that's going like 100 years from now. They're going back to New Jack City.
Right. Well, the real talk, right? Real talk, and Ted noticed, and it ain't Ted's fault. I was supposed to be singing "Let's Chill" in the wedding scene. You know what I mean? We had wrote.
Let's Chill was gonna be your song. It was wrote for you.
Yeah. We had wrote "Let's Chill" for that scene, but you know what I'm saying? Something happened where I didn't get
Jopra moment. You know, Diddy called me Jopra, the Spanish Oprah. So this is a Jopra moment. So "Let's Chill" was written by you and Teddy, and it was really originally
and Bernard,
supposed to be yours.
Me, Teddy, Bernard Bell. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be us. We, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Bernard and Ted wrote the majority of it, but it was supposed to be my joint to go into the wedding scene of New Jack City. So what happened is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it ain't had nothing to do with Ted. Ain't had nothing to do with nobody. Management made the call that, the song wasn't gonna be my song. I couldn't do the song. Management made that call. And I'm quite sure you know who management was at that time. You know what I mean? So I had one day to do a song for the wedding thing. So I went in the studio and wrote "There You Go Telling Me No Again" in one night. You know what I mean? One night I had to go in there.
There you go telling me no.
Because there you go telling me no. There you go telling me no again. Ain't got nothing to do with no wedding. So I had to go write that song in one night and we just threw it in the movie because I had to go in the studio that same night and write it. Because if I didn't, if I didn't go in the studio and write it in about 2 or 3 hours, there wouldn't have been. Nah,
you know that, and you know that movie is like forever.
Right, definitely.
Brown is forever.
Right,
you know what I mean?
There you go.
It's forever. And so being that we right there on your writing skills, because I didn't want to go there, but we're gonna go there. Who else you wrote music for?
I mean, I wrote "Freak Me" for Silk. I wrote "Lose Control." I wrote the whole Silk album, the whole first Silk album. You know, I wrote. I've written for Ron Isley. You know, I've written for Levert. I've written for the OJs. I've written for Drew. I've written for Drew Hill. I've been written for a lot of people, man. I wrote.
So you wrote a lot of stuff, right? I'm gonna say you're the first guy because it's like this. This is the way it normally works. You Spanish. You want to get out the Bronx, New York. You move down to Miami or you move down to Orlando. You Black. You want to get out to Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn. You go to the ATL.
Mm-hmm.
At what point because you're the first person in New York to make the transition to the ATL. You are.
Right, I know. I definitely was.
Being a young kid, hearing, Keith Sweat down in the ATL wilding out. And I ain't even been to the ATL yet. And it was like, this guy got clubs, he got studio, he got record. Like what made you want to move to the ATL that early though?
Right, yeah. But what happened is this, right? You know, knowing I was on Wall Street, I've always been one of those people that I wanted to get the most for my money. So what happened is I was on tour. I think it was the triple threat tour. It was me, BBD, and Johnny Gill. That tour, that triple threat tour.
I remember that one.
So, like, I had family in the ATL, and they was like, "Man, you need to move to the ATL. You see the little house you're getting in New York, you can get triple the size of this house and for that money in ATL." So, you know, once I came to the ATL, I just started looking. I really wasn't serious about moving down here, but I started looking around, and I said, "Damn, you know what I mean? I'm getting ready to spend $500,000 to $1 million on this house, and it's small, and I can spend $1 million on this house, and it'll look like it's worth, you know, 4 or 5.
You feel like a big dog when you
right.
You know,
so what I did,
it's still to this day. You go to the ATL and you can get some shit way cheaper than you could somewhere else. Like I live in a crackhead house. If you ask me, this is small as fuck. No, I'm telling you the truth. But my mortgage $13,000 a month. Like, cause I'm in Miami on the water. So it's like, but if I went to the ATL, I'd have got some shit with a dog racing track in front of the shit, with some waterfalls and shit. Nah, we always know. Shout out my brother Diamond D. We always know the ATL. The ATL is special. It's a special spot. So you went down there. It was you, LaFace. It was
Bobby was here.
Bobby Brown was there.
Yeah, he was here.
You had Dallas Austin.
Right.
But you know, as far as I knew at that time, Jermaine Dupri, he was young, but you was running the whole ATL. Like the words I was in.
Yeah, I had opened up a few clubs here, restaurants here. So I mean, I came down here and, you know, and initially I was doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? It was things that I did here that I couldn't have done in New York. So, you know, so I came down here, and like you said, I was one of the first New Yorkers to come down here. And so I just wanted to wild out. I mean, and I had fun doing it. You know, I experienced a lot of things. I wilded out. I did a lot. You know, and
That's
I
another
never
question
thought
I
I would
got for
move.
you, right? Another question I got for you. So I want you to be honest with me, Sweat. This we talking about old shit, but when
Okay.
you got popping, listen, when you got popping on fire, because I ain't gonna lie to you, only time I saw Keith Sweat was in the stadium, Madison Square Garden, some big shit with the band in the middle of the stage. Trust me, I was there, right? And but when you got the most popping, who surprised you? What chicks at that time surprised you that came at you? Like big, like big actress singing, like that you was like, holy.
I can't do that.
I need two, Keith. That's
No,
20
no,
years,
man.
30 years ago.
I can't do that. You know,
Yo, Keith, that's 20, 30
I
years
can't do
ago.
I can't. You know how I am. I can't do that.
Yo, Keith, did you ever meet Apollonia?
No, I never met Apollonia. No, I never met her. Never met her. Never met Apollonia. Don't try it, man.
No, I'm not saying that. I just, because when I think about Keith Sweat and how much the ladies love you, and I said to myself, like, damn, like who went at Keith Sweat? I ain't say you did nothing with him, but you was just
but
like,
there was a few that came at me that was on but I didn't entertain it, to be honest with you.
It ain't
You know
your
what I mean?
style. It ain't my style either.
Yeah, I didn't give it, you know what I'm saying? It's just that, yeah, that you said it right. It's just not me. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's not my style either.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I just felt like it just drew too much attention for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I just didn't want to do it.
Hey, yo, did you ever have another artist that and this ain't you once again you ain't gotta answer, this ain't controversial, but you ever had another artist that you specifically I'm gonna tell you, when I used to sit down to make my albums, I used to put a poster of Jay-Z up where he was the hottest guy, or Nas or whatever, and I felt if my album wasn't as good as that, or my singles wasn't as good as that, I wasn't really doing. Did you have an artist that you was like viewed as your competition? Like, they did their thing and then you was coming with yours.
I mean, I think every solo artist out at that time, I felt that about. You know what I'm trying to say? Even groups, I felt like I wanted to compete. And it was a friendly competition. It was because you had Johnny Gill out there. You had Gerald Levert out there. You had all them out there. So every time I dropped something, it was really in competition to what they were dropping, to be honest with you. We were friends, but we still were in competition with each other. You know what I mean? Even in concert, it'd be like, yo.
There wasn't nobody that you was just like, yo, I'm gonna give this to him. Like this dedicated to,
I mean, that's how I felt. No, that's how I felt about everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this to them. You know what I'm saying? They drop something, and I'm like, yo, I'm out do this. I'm out doing with this. You know? I mean, so I just felt like that about everybody, and I think that's what made me who I am, because I was always competitive, but it was a friendly competition. It was not like, yo, I can't stand this dude, or he whack or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we were all friends. We would all get on the phone and talk, talk trash to each other. You know what I mean? We would get on the phone and like, yo, nigga, I'm dropping this, I'm doing this. And I would get on the phone like, yo, you need to check this out. And I listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Even with the groups. The only reason I did Silk, right? The only reason I did Silk, right, is because you had Jodeci out there, you had Boys and Men out there, you had other groups out there, right? So I said, I need a group that's gonna compete with the rest of these groups, because I'm a competitor. I said, now if I drop this group, right, and I was hard on them. They'll tell you I was real hard on them. It was like when they was in the studio, I was like, yo, sing it again, and they would say, man, I want to sing it this way. And I said, nah, man, you're gonna sing it. You're gonna be some mini Key Sweats. You gonna sing it the way I need you to sing it. So they didn't understand it in the beginning. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I
they
mean?
still eating off of that now.
They, yeah, they didn't understand it in the beginning, but they understood it after it came out because Happy Days came out, right? That was the first single off the album, Happy Days, Silk album, right? And it didn't do nothing. And I was kind of nervous because it didn't really hit like I wanted it to hit. Because I was, you know, back then, I was accustomed, everything I dropped, it was hitting. You know, so they dropped Happy Days, it didn't hit. Then all of a sudden, about 4 weeks later, I hear Freak Me getting played all over the country, all over the radio. Like, I'm like, yo, who dropped that record? So the record company hit me, man, we got to put this record, Freak Me, out. I said, Freak Me? I said, hold up, wait a minute. They playing Lick Me Up and Down on the radio? Because during them times, I didn't think they was going to play no Let Me Lick You Up and Down. You know what I'm saying? So they said,
when I'm talking about 10 years ago, I made Make It Rain. Stephen Hill, who's my brother, president of BT, never played my video because I had some girls in like bathing suits. And I'm watching the videos now. They got chicks butt naked, blurred out behind Young Thug, Travis Scott. I'm like, damn, they wouldn't even let a girl with like balloons, you know, not even a G-string, the panties, bathing suit. He was like, I told you I don't want no girls in this Make It Rain video. And they wouldn't play my shit. But these guys got butt naked chicks. Like, the game done changed, huh?
Right. Definitely. The game definitely done changed because a lot of things they get away with now, we could never get away back in the day. We could never get away with that back in the day.
It never got you upset that they were saying that you was begging for the you know what. They say Keith Sweat, you know, when I think of Keith Sweat, I say I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Right.
The other people can hear Keith Sweat and they like, yo, Keith Sweat, man, he was begging for that body.
I love that, you know, I love that. You know why I love it? Because, you know, like Teddy Pendergrass, he was the teddy bear. Everybody had they title. So they call me the beggar. So so when I get on stage, I say, yo, fellas, I beg so you ain't got to beg, baby. So, you know, that's what I do. I beg so you ain't got to beg. So I love the title, and, you know, I'm in my, you know, it's like everybody talking about who the king of R&B. Like, there is no kings of R&B because, you know, I mean, like I said, I mean, there are so many people that do great music. You got Tank out there, myself out there, Bobby out there. You got so many people out here that, Tyrese, you just got so many people out there that really are in their own lane. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just great that we all feel the way we feel about, we are passionate about. I forgot Joe. That's my man, Joe. And we're just passionate about the music like
Joe
that.
Legend.
Yo, that's my boy.
But
you know, Joe,
let me play this
Johnny.
for you right here, Keith. And marinate for 1 second.
I wanna feel, I wanna feel you, I wanna show you it. I want your body.
Yo, Keith, you don't know what this record means to me.
You told me you would.
Give it to the people what this means to me.
Tell them the story you told me, Joe.
And who could? Nobody. Nobody. Woo! This is different. Nobody. All right, I'm gonna tell you a story, man. When I got with my wife, right, I was scared to fly, and when nobody came out, I would drive back and forth to Miami, and I had a Lexus at the time, and I would have her on the pet. You know when you in that Butterflies, that brand new shit. I would play that song at least 50 1,000 million times from the whole New York to Miami singing, and we sing it back to each other. And shout out to Raul, my brother. He was like tired of nobody. And so this song, it hit different. It hit different to me because it's everything to me. How did you come up with Nobody, man?
And I just happened to be in the studio, and you know, I was just like, what can I do? What song can I come up with that's just flying crazy? You know what I mean? And it was like, you know, we just started messing with the chords, and I wanna see you, and it just was like that, and like we was messing with the chords. Who can love you like me? Nobody. So we was just messing with the chords like that, and we was just playing around. And I said, yo, if I just say on every line, I just say nobody, like that'll be fly. It's like a chant, you know what I'm saying? So it ended up being the way it was.
What's a chant?
So
let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you about all your fans that ever been to a concert that Fat Joe's at a Key Sweat. They're like, that boy a fool. Yo, I be in the middle of the lane and that shit like so interesting. Go to a Key Sweat concert. I'm gonna give you one more. This is my favorite is from Key Sweat, but I want to ask about this.
I got something for this time around.
This is different, Key. Yo, these girls were singing though, like they were singing, like they was different, Key.
Yeah.
This girl was singing, man.
Those were my babies. Cut
She
close.
tried to take you out, then you came at the end with the. She tried. She tried.
Yeah.
Different. That's different, Key.
And you don't have to be afraid of my love.
Wow.
Woo. I be forgetting about them joints.
Wow. Keisha Cole on the check-in. They was bringing that shit. Get up on it. Woo. Yo, this girl was going crazy. I was scared for you right here.
You ain't have, you didn't have to be scared for me, baby. You didn't care for me. You ain't scared for me, baby.
Yo, this, yo, Keith, this different, man. Yo, Keith, this.
Singers, female singers, like it's like, let me hear you riff. And that girl riff one time for me. Like it was just, all it took for her to do was riff one time, and that run was so crazy and ridiculous. I said, all right, come on, we go in the studio tonight. It was like instantaneous.
Like that.
It was just like that, instantaneously.
When I met God Bless the Dead, Big Pun, I heard him rap one time, put him in the car, let's go to studio tonight. Like it's
right.
really nice. Keisha Cole check in. Timberland's on the check-in, Swiss Beats on the check-in. The whole industry's on the check-in, Key Sweat. They all really, I'm going to tell you what they called me back. Swiss said, would you do the verses you and Bobby Brown?
I'm gonna talk to Swiss about that of the I wouldn't I won't have to do it live if I did it.
Like performing?
Yeah. I'd have to be honest.
Yo, need no Teddy Riley shit over here, yo, Keith. If you go in here, yo, Keith, you gotta play this shit off your phone with the no Teddy Riley shit, Keith.
Nah, no, that's my boy. That mean, you know what I'm saying? We had those are technical difficulties there. It wouldn't be like that. No, we would have to. If I did it, I think it's got to be a situation where it's, you know, it's a live thing for me. You know me, I'm live.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But if you would wanted to, the word I've been hearing about, the words I've been hearing, Timberland said you got to do it. The words I've been hearing is Bobby Brown, Key Sweat, who's the real king of R&B. That's the talk. But I'm saying,
about my boy Peace, man.
Nah, fuck out of here. He's a good kid.
That's my dude.
He's hot. He's a beautiful guy. He got a song with my artist Angelica Villa. We love him, the Birdman. But no, we talking about
that's my boy.
About the Titans. We talking about the Coliseum in Rome.
I know. I'm gonna let Tim and Swiss call me, and y'all, all three of y'all can team up on
Not
me.
me. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a fan. Yo, listen. The other person can't do it, huh?
Yeah, so there's nobody else in my era, you know what I mean, other than Bob. I can't even think of no in that whole Jack Swing era. I mean, because outside of that era, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? For me, you know what I'm trying to say. So Bob would be probably for me the closest thing. I can't really think of anybody else. If somebody else think of somebody else and at me, I'm good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think, you know, it has to be a lot for me for me to make it work.
They're gonna do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I was doing some snooping around, and they told me you had the most legendary dice games in the ATL in the history of dice. They said you had Diddy Shook. They said you had Diddy. You was killing them dudes.
Yeah. I mean, that's either 7-Eleven or CeeLo. You know, that's that CeeLo Harlem thing. 4, 5, 6. You know what I'm saying? That's
6. You know,
that's
I
4,
was
5,
watching
6.
that since I was a kid.
Yeah, so
when I went
you
to
know.
the train station, they playing that CeeLo out there. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you know, I used to do a lot of that thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get down like that anymore. But it was like
you ain't playing no dice no more.
Nah, I'm not. I'm good with all that. But you know, I had some games. For them games, you know, you know, the games was incredible when I did. They were
you was destroying them. Had them on the.
Yeah.
Those. Anybody? What's one of the big? Shout out to my brother Guy, 5001. On the check-in. What's what? You don't gotta say you want to whatever. What's a legendary game that you had? Who played with you? I know Diddy was one. Because I heard you was abused.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.